The Artemis astronauts have just made shocking revelations about the mission, and it is terrifying everyone. New footage from the Artemis II voyage is being reviewed by scientists, and what the crew captured during their 7-hour lunar flyby has researchers scrambling to process data they never expected to collect. At first glance, the footage looked like routine lunar observations, but as researchers slowed the frames and examined the details, something far more unsettling appeared hidden in the darkness of the lunar surface. The mission itself began as one of the most ambitious human spaceflights in decades. On April 1, 2026, NASA launched the Artemis II crew aboard the Space Launch System rocket from Kennedy Space Center, marking the first time astronauts had traveled toward the moon in more than 50 years. The Orion spacecraft carried 4 astronauts, Reed Wiseman, Victor Glover, Christina Koch, and Jeremy Hansen, on a looping trajectory around the moon designed to test spacecraft systems and gather observations before future landing missions. You see, in simpler terms, the mission wasn't designed to land. Instead, Artemis II would loop around the moon and return to Earth, testing systems that future missions will rely on when astronauts eventually step back onto the lunar surface. In the hours immediately after the launch, the crew began troubleshooting. The crew performed system checks, tested manual spacecraft control, and prepared for the long journey beyond Earth orbit. But as Orion moved deeper into space, its cameras and sensors began capturing details of the lunar environment with unprecedented clarity. The spacecraft also used a new optical laser communication system capable of transmitting extremely high-resolution video back to Earth, allowing scientists to see the mission almost as if they were on board. Then the mission reached the moon, and things got a little interesting. While observing the moon's shadowed surface during a lunar flyby, the astronauts reported seeing multiple sudden flashes of light scattered across the dark terrain. These flashes weren't reflections or camera glitches. They were meteoroids slamming into the moon at incredible speeds, creating bright bursts that lasted only seconds before fading back into darkness. During the flyby, astronauts counted at least 6 of these impacts in real time, providing rare evidence of how frequently space debris bombards the lunar surface. The moon has no atmosphere to burn up incoming rocks, meaning meteoroids strike its surface directly at speeds of tens of thousands of miles per hour. Studies estimate that several small meteoroids strike the lunar surface every hour, creating tiny craters and bursts of heat and light. However, seeing multiple impacts within such a short observation window suggests that the environment around the moon is far more violent than many scientists imagine. For future astronauts who will eventually live and work on the lunar surface, those glowing flashes are a clear reminder of the dangers waiting outside any lunar habitat. But the meteoroid strikes were only the beginning of the strange and breathtaking sights captured during the mission. As Orion rounded the far side of the moon, the crew experienced a complete communications blackout lasting roughly 40 minutes. With the moon blocking all signals from Earth, the spacecraft was temporarily cut off from mission control. When communications were restored, the footage that reached Earth stunned researchers yet again. One of the most remarkable images taken during the flyby showed what scientists are calling an Earthset, the moment Earth slowly disappeared behind the lunar horizon. Similar to the famous Earthrise photo taken during the Apollo era, this image revealed just how small and fragile our planet looks from deep space. The photograph was taken through Orion's window during the flyby and immediately became one of the defining images of the Artemis program. The mission also broke a historic record while collecting these observations. During its journey, the Orion spacecraft carried its crew more than 252,000 miles away from Earth, farther than any humans had ever traveled before, surpassing the distance record previously held by the Apollo 13 astronauts in 1970. That milestone alone turned the Artemis II mission into a major moment in space exploration, proving that NASA's new systems can safely carry humans deep into space once again. And that successful journey sets the stage for what comes next. The next major step in the program, Artemis III, is expected to launch later this decade and will aim to do what Artemis II deliberately did not: land astronauts on the moon again. This time, the target is the moon's south pole.